Ah, you're back, and so are we. This is the third episode of Christy and Ryan
Do America.
And we are happy to be back. Today's topic, and we thought about this a while back because he has a story to tell, a very interesting one, actually. Both of our lives were impacted by 9/11 in very different ways. And being that I live in Texas, a very awkward way, but he lived at the time in New Jersey. And there's a lot of rumors going around that one of the people that died in Flight 93 were not real. Or there's even rumors that the Flight 93 wasn't real. And he's going to tell a story, though, that paints a little bit of a different picture and what might have actually happened, and that there weren't just empty planes of people that died that day, or there weren't the conspiracies.
Yeah, they said Ed Felt wasn't real.
Yeah.
They said he didn't exist. But I used to hang out with his daughter all the time. And I feel really bad about that whole situation, actually. Mm-hmm. Because, 13, it happened. I never saw her again after that day. We used to hang out almost every day. Every time I was at my grandparents', mm-hmm. We'd be in the pool, hanging out. They had two Dalmatians, one Dalmatian. I don't remember. They had a nice big Dalmatian dog, really cool dog. And Ed was a cool guy, too. Every Halloween, at least the Halloweens that I can remember, he would always give a trick and a treat at the door. So that was cool. Even when they got rich mm-hmm. off of Google. Yeah. He was a big, I don't know if he was a Google executive himself, but I know he had his daughter told me remember we used to use Dogpile all the time?
Yep.
So that was the big thing at the time, was Dogpile, and what was the other one? Jeeves, Ask Jeeves.
Tell them just in case they don't know what it is, tell them what Dogpile and Ask Jeeves are.
They're search engines. They were search engines before Google. And I think he invested early into Google or something, and he made his money. And it was crazy because a few months after that was all announced, he had passed, he was murdered. He was mm-hmm. killed. Mm-hmm. And I just remember seeing, sometimes we go on the internet, we look at things. And I just remember seeing all these conspiracy theories saying that Ed's not real and Ed Felt isn't real and all this other stuff. And I just think about, how much that must have hurt the family.
Yeah.
And another thing, too, I feel really bad because, being a kid, I didn't really know how to deal with that. Mm-hmm. And I never spoke to her again. Mm-hmm. I hope it's enough that we went to the Army because of that.
Yeah, I think so.
But I do feel really bad about that.
What now, when they say Ed Felt isn't real, what is the reason that's so important to believe he wasn't real? Like what?
He was one of the last people to call off of the flight.
Interesting.
I don't know if he called 911 or if he called his wife or what, but I just remember seeing everywhere like, oh, big thing, Ed Felt's not real. He's not a real guy. Mm-hmm. And it just irked me a little bit, mm-hmm. especially us being so motivated. But I watched, my mom picked me up from school. I watched the second plane hit the tower from the beach in Keyport.
Wow.
I saw the smoke just trailing along there. I think I showed you one of the pictures.
So that is crazy. I mean, you show me that photograph. We're going to have to put a picture of that up, but you show me that photograph and I don't know where my head was at. For some reason, I didn't put two and two together. That was 9/11.
Yeah.
Like you showed it to me and you told me, and I was like, I don't know if I was in my own other world at that moment, but now I'm starting to realize that was a second plane, and you saw the second plane explosions happening.
Yeah, we saw the second plane hit the tower. We were pretty far, across the bay. You can't see it. All we saw was a second plume of smoke.
What's interesting is that in that photograph, there's a lot of people like surfing or doing something.
Everybody was going about their business. Nobody really knew what the hell was going on. And the first plane, if you remember, everybody thought it was an accident. Mm-hmm. And then it wasn't until after the second plane that people were like, oh, fuck.
Interesting.
Yeah. No, it was crazy.
Do you remember being at the beach and everyone realizing what had happened, and were they getting out of the water? Or no. Just everyone was, because if we weren't connected.
It was a school day.
Yeah, we were connected.
Yeah. So it was mostly adults in the water. I don't think anybody really knew what was. And it was early in the morning too, like 9, 10 o'clock maybe.
Yeah. This is at a time where cell phones were really rare. Like people didn't carry cell phones like they do now. I mean, pagers maybe.
Oh, beepers. Yeah,
beepers. And there was no social media. It was literally a time where
We
if
just had
something happened.
MySpace and Tom.
Yeah. Even back then, I don't even know if MySpace even existed.
It did. Yeah, Tom was everybody's first friend.
But nobody was at the beach with their laptop.
No.
You know, it was
There was no Wi-Fi.
There was no Wi-Fi. Yeah. That's crazy to think about. There was literally no internet at that time to connect to, even if you had a laptop.
That's right.
You didn't even have a hotspot on your phone.
AOL used to get mailed to you in your regular mail.
You used to get CDs. AOL, you get like an hour for free if
I'm
you
talking
say
about the floppies. Remember the 3.5-inch floppies? AOL 3.0. That was man.
I remember that.
That was crazy.
Yeah, there was the floppy. You get points for signing people on.
Yeah.
And
then Kmart had the blue light special.
The blue light special?
Remember that?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember something hearing about it. I don't know what it was for.
It was internet access. You could get internet access without a provider.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, it was cool.
The blue light special.
Blue light special was just a little cardboard card. I don't remember how it worked. My parents did all that stuff. I was a kid, you know?
Do you remember Net Zero?
Net Zero, yeah.
That didn't make sense to me. It worked, though.
Yeah, I think it was important to mention, at least put on the record that Ed Felt was real and everything that family suffered was real. Like to say that somebody like that doesn't exist just because, like, it would have been easy to figure out. Like it was in the newspaper. I remember seeing his name in big letters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? On the Asbury Park Press.
Mm-hmm.
And just crazy.
You were talking about something the other one you noticed since you were a kid, right?
Yeah, since we were little kids.
And you were talking about being in your grandma's.
Yep.
And across the street.
They were across the street neighbors from my grandparents, but I basically lived in my grandma's.
Yeah. And so that's interesting because anyone who did enough research could have easily
It's found that the Felts lived in Aberdeen, Madeline now, Aberdeen then, and on Fierro Avenue, just off Fierro Avenue. I forget what the name of that loop is. So
do they know what he said on the phone?
I'm sure there's a transcript. I think he was talking to 911, if I'm not mistaken.
Interesting. And was it like, wait, was it about he saw smoke or something?
Smoke, right? And then they were going to try to do something.
Yeah.
Try to save the plane.
That's interesting. I mean, I always wonder at this point not always, but ever since you told me that, I was wondering, like, what did he see? And if, what was it that he saw that sparked him to even call someone?
Yeah, well, the families, all the 9/11 families got to see the security footage from inside the planes. So only they really know.
Interesting. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder what they showed them,
Yeah, probably nothing close to the truth.
Did anyone's phone ring when he called that they were able to talk?
I don't know I think he was talking to 911, but you had to call from the planes then from those phone bags.
That's right.
On the thing, and those were all landlines. So if he called anybody, it would have been to either 911 or a landline.
Interesting.
But I just don't know. The thing I feel bad about is just terrible, man.
Yeah, you kind of at the age of 13, you don't know what to do and how to respond and
or how to even address that. How do you start that conversation?
I mean, and not only that, it wasn't like the loss of her father. It was the nation lost its.
That's true.
I mean, like the whole entire nation lost its mind because of it.
Yeah.
And so it's not really
all to cover up $2.4 trillion of missing money, according to what was his name, Rumsfeld.
Yep, Rumsfeld. Start a war and give reason to go to Iraq when they even found out that Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11.
No weapons of mass destruction. That's a fact. That's not even a conspiracy theory. That is a fucking fact. What the hell did we go there for?
Even the 9/11 Commission report doesn't put any mention, or the least that I know of, and from what people have said, of Building Number 7 going down.
Yeah.
Building Number 7 went down about 5 hours later. And I always wonder, everyone knows 2 towers went down, but most people, I would say at least 80% of people, probably a little bit more than that, have no idea what Building 7 even is, that another building went down that day, and it went down demolition style.
I remember them talking about it briefly on the news, when they were doing the digging out of people and they discovered the people was in the subway or whatever. I remember them saying something, but after that you didn't hear a peep.
Yep. Well, they even have a news reporter talking about Building 7 going down in England, or the BBC, and behind her the building's still standing. So they're sitting there talking about it and it's still there. So how did they know? Because because the time difference, they were now, if that was live footage that they were showing behind them, then that building still stood as they were already talking about it going down. So that means either someone knew it was going to go down, it was pre-planned scripts to be reading on the news, and you know how easy it is to mess up time differences. Like, it is so simple to mess up time difference. I've done it many times. Where
I do it every time.
If you're in California,
you saw my truck. I was 2 hours ahead.
Yeah, no, I talk on the phone with people, and I talk to people in California. I talk to people in the eastern side, and there's always this, like, you're basically doing math. They're trying to keep up with that, and it's easy to make a mistake. So for them to talk about building number 7 going down and showing live footage, who knows if it was at this point, maybe that's the excuse they have, but showing footage at the time that it was still standing and knowing, beforehand that it was going to go down says everything right there. Also, that it went down with controlled demolition. And the reason that it's important is, I like to say to people, if they don't believe you that building 7 went down or that this didn't happen, I would always like to have people put their money where their mouth is, or say, like, I'll bet you, and then see what they do with that. Because I could sit there and tell someone all day, like, oh, that's not true. Oh, that's not true. And then that's the end of it. Like, where do you go from there? It's like, oh, okay. So they're just going to walk away and never learn a thing. But if you bet them,
I don't think most of them have any intention of learning anything. They just like to regurgitate things that make them feel good, and then they move on.
But I would like, if people would do this, to start betting people money. I mean, it's an extreme, ask, but like, if you bet someone money saying that they said, oh, that didn't happen, it's like, well, how much do you want to bet?
I do that often with Ed Felt, and I've won every time.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah, could you block out his daughter's name though?
It's 100%. Yeah. We'll definitely not. Definitely block that out.
But I'm sure she'll read my lips.
Yeah. We'll put like a chicken cluck or something.
No, you can do that. That's
like a beep.
Yeah, just beep or cluck, whatever.
And but yeah, it's just with all these things that occurred on 9/11, and our inability to look at the facts is because we are not pushed past the ability to go into debate. We stop, and most people stop and say, oh, that's not true, and they walk away, or that's not true, and then that's the end of it. And that's the problem, is that no one is put to consequence with their beliefs.
Well, speaking of consequences for your beliefs, that goes back to the whole why the hell were we in Iraq thing. I feel like the government took advantage of our patriotism
100%.
and used us.
100%.
You know what I'm 100%. saying? I would have gladly fought World War II, or you know what I'm saying? Something like, but like, it's similar to Vietnam. Like, why?
Yep.
What was all that suffering for? And then all those people died.
Yep.
And we just give it away. Same thing in Afghanistan. It's crazy.
And
how is that not abuse?
It's not only abuse, it's borderline.
Well, the government is obligated by law to always act in your best interest. I mean, I'm serious. Like, I feel like we have a case against, well, you can't sue the government, but you know what I'm saying? Like, at least a moral case against these people.
Well, no, 100%. I remember when I found out about all this stuff, and then I went to the sergeant major in the reserves. After I'd been out of the Army, I was already done, and then I had to go to the reserves, and they wanted to know why I was the way I was.
And that was back before everything really came out, that there were no weapons of mass destruction.
This was 2010.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
And I'm telling the sergeant major, I'm like, look, he's like, I really want to know why you are the way you are. Like, because I wasn't going to tell people that 9/11 was, I was sitting there saying that I couldn't do this anymore, and the sergeant major was like, why are you doing this? And I'm like, do you really want to know why? And he's like, that's why we're here. Because that sergeant major came down to talk to me specifically. He was not supposed to be there. Like, there's no reason a single battalion hanging out on Saturday and Sunday in the reserve needs a sergeant major. No, he came down just for me. And then I'm like, well, I'll tell you why. Because 9/11, because this happened. And it's like, I cannot, in good consciousness, ever defend this anymore, because it is wrong.
Right.
And I mean, I was guns a-blazing about it.
Because we thought it was justified. Yeah. But like, how can you, I'm trying to say this the right way. Like, I just feel like when they ask you those things, and like, they just want us to be like, no questions asked, do what we say,
Yeah.
hurt whoever we ask you to hurt,
Yep.
with no justification.
Yep.
And your justification is you're a soldier and that's what you're supposed to do. Well, if I remember correctly, they taught us as soldiers, we're supposed to question everything and act by our own moral compass.
No, 100%. And that's the thing. Like, I was one of the most gung-ho people I ever met in the military. And I wanted to do the military. That was my goal, my life dream.
Since I was a kid.
Special forces, Rangers, everything I wanted to do. And just like me, just like you, that's all I wanted to do. But when I was shown that evidence, it ruined my life. You know, I couldn't do it anymore. I had to tell everybody I could see. And so I did. I was called un-American. I was treated like shit in the military when I was just trying to show people. And I had people come to my room and we'd watch the evidence. We'd look at the videos and they're like, holy shit, you're right. But they would not say a word. They were scared. They had already deployed twice. You know, I deployed once. But they deployed twice. They lost so many people that were so, and all of their battle buddies. You can't give up
at that point.
Yeah. They were closed-minded. Yeah. And their battle buddies would, like, they couldn't even, because they deployed twice with their other buddies. They couldn't say nothing to them. And they definitely couldn't say nothing to us because we were new guys, technically 1 year. But that sergeant major, when I told him all this, and he's like, well, I think you're really fucking narrow-minded. And I'm like, well, if you want to believe that, that's fine. But the truth
doesn't change the fact.
It doesn't change the fact that we were lied to, and we went there and we did stuff under the pretense of believing that it was their fault.
And defending the United States.
And as un-American as I may seem,
we're not. Like, I feel like we love America.
Yeah,
we don't want a shit image for the country.
And I think that our founding fathers, you know, the whole right to speak out, which is what I did and got a lot of, you know, problems with, you know, what is an American, you know, and to me, an American is someone who defends their country first, but you defend the family of the country first. You know, you defend the culture, the morals, and the right to free speech. What are you going to speak about but the truth?
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. Everybody's doing, and this brings us to another topic, but Jimmy Kimmel, right? He brings up he flat out lied. I don't know if you saw the clip, but it was just, he's like, this guy's a right winger, blah, 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 blah. Bro's got a live-in boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He wrote, "Hey, fascist, catch."
Are you talking about the shooter?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so Jimmy Kimmel flat out lies, says that the shooter is right wing, guaranteed. You know, we just don't have enough information. Yeah, okay. Because that's total right wing behavior, having a boyfriend or transitioning girlfriend and writing things like, "Oh, notice this bulge," you know, ooh, you know, shit like that. That's no, it's weird. That's the one he shot him with, was the "notice this bulge," ooh, you know what I'm saying? And like, so, and then my theory, I think it was, we were talking about this. So they canceled Jimmy, whatever his name is.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel. It was the first time he ever made me laugh. And people are saying it's hypocritical. But I don't think that speech is protected by the First Amendment.
What was this? What was the speech?
Flat out lying. Yeah, well,
okay, so Jimmy Kimmel is...
You can lie. You can absolutely lie under the First Amendment. However, they get money from the United States government. They have a charter. People don't know that. That they have to abide by. And you cannot shit out lies.
Well, that's the thing. And that's another thing about the Smith Modernization Act that Obama switched over in 2012. Because it used to be, now, whether or not this applies to these people, they do provide political commentary, which is connected to the news in a way. So I will say entertainment shows and evening entertainment shows are somehow very political, and they are connected to politics in the news realm. They will bring it up in the news.
That can be determined in court. You know, let a jury decide.
So the Smith Modernization Act gave, after 2012, after Obama signed it in, the right for the news to lie to the American people. Prior to that, it allowed only to lie to everybody else outside of America. So we could politically we could use political warfare and false information to win the wars outside of the country narratively. And then they changed it in 2012 where it could be used on us. There's a lot of talk about calling the reversal of the Smith Mun now the Charlie Kirk Act, because the changing over, we don't need a Smith Modernization Act for anybody, for people outside the country, for people inside the country. We don't need to lie
But lying should be protected under the First Amendment, I think.
100%, but lying that leads to
violence or death or
voter tampering.
Yeah, well, that's already been ruled on by the Supreme Court. That shit's already illegal. You don't even need the Smith-Mundt Act because I think it's 18 USC 35. Can you check it out real quick? See if
what was that?
18 USC Section 35.
18.
Just type in 18 space USC space 35. Tell me what comes up.
Okay. 18.
I'm pulling this from 10 years back.
USC.
United States Code, number 35.
35. Okay. 18 USC 35.
Can you read it? What does it say?
Search for it here. Okay.
Should Justia or whatever. Use that. That's fine.
Okay. 18. It's USC 18. Wait, hold on.
Let me see.
Copy this. Okay.
I don't know where that came from. That came deep out of my mind.
Surprised because that's what happens when you're in the flow. You're able to access that. See, that's why maintaining the moment when you do everything, you have like unlimited access. So when you probably heard this, you're probably just chilling, and it happened. Okay, 18 U.S. Code 35, imparting or conveying false information.
I knew it.
Yep. Here it goes. So is the federal statute prohibiting the imparting or conveying of false information? This bomb hoax statute makes it a civil offense up to $1,000 penalty to knowingly provide false information about a crime, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. So if it was a bomb hoax, for example.
That's false information about a crime. The guy murdered somebody. Yep. That's a crime. Jimmy Kimmel pressed false information. I think you should be charged. It's only $1,000 fine.
And also because there will be a court hearing, and this would be jury tampering.
So we don't need the Smith-Mundt Act. That's in U.S. Code. That's been there since like the 1700s, like 1800s.
And that can alter the decision of a juror.
Yes.
Just with emotion because they're because Jimmy Kimmel knows his side is the left wing. Yeah. That's what they are. So his whole thing is pandering.
He's grifting. Yeah. Pandering. They're called demagogues.
Yeah.
They're disgusting.
And it's interesting. Sometimes things are funny, to make fun of the other side. But the truth is
jokes are okay.
The political realm should not be a circus. It should be the building of our country. It should be the building of our country in a sense that we are able to see our representatives doing our bidding, basically.
Yeah, so we got to stop calling them our leaders.
Yeah.
They're our representatives.
Exactly. Because
we're the leaders.
We, the people, are the government. I don't know how many times I've talked to people about that, and they don't understand that the fact that
they love giving up. They love passing the buck. They just want to pass the responsibility.
They literally think that the government, and it's like, you mean you?
Yeah.
You mean you're the person who's supposed to be making sure at the school boards, making sure at the
town council.
And when you go to the voting booth, what you are doing is for yourself and for your family and it extends outwards. It's to give the people a voice. And whenever we watch these commentary shows of people making fun of the other side, see, that shouldn't exist. It shouldn't be like this. No. We have to make fun of the other side because that proves there's a dichotomy, which means one is the truth and one is not, because one has to be completely in support of the structure and the foundation of keeping America where it is, and to keep, and that's not only keeping it where it is, but where it keeps it prospering. If you're either against it or for it. And if you're for it, that means you are for the people, period. If you're not for the people and freedom of speech, freedom, right to bear arms, etc., all the rest of the amendments, then you are not part of the process. And then the only way you can make the other side look bad that is for it is to lie. Because this is the truth. Mm-hmm. The truth is don't take away our constitutional rights, because that is the truth. That's what we were given. And anything else is just completely used to cater an entire mob to think a specific way because they want the right to do very, very evil things so they can, they want abortion. People think they want abortion to give women their choice. The reason they want abortion is so they can buy the body parts and sell them. That's the truth behind it. That is literally why there is a deeper reason even than that, but abortion is a huge money.
Business.
It's a huge business. They sell the parts. They sell the parts of babies.
Oh, I know. I've seen it. Believe me, I remember that.
Yeah.
The videos that they leaked, was it back in 2012 or whatever?
They literally, and then also when they push out global warming, climate change.
Yeah, and that one lady sat in jail for like 6 years for protesting outside of a Planned Parenthood.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Trump
no, for praying.
Yes.
Praying, I think.
How did you know what she was doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That is some, they want to talk about fascism.
Yeah.
That's fascism.
Yeah. If now they can go out and believe their own religions, and then we simply proceed with ours that we've always had, or that America has always had. And then we're the bad guy. Literally, then they'll find something to justify it. Then they'll argue, and then they'll get all emotionally upset and walk away. Bet them money. $3,000. I bet you I'm right. That kind of stuff. And if
$1,000 fine.
Yeah, exactly. And real quick, the global warming side, we have the one with the abortion, and they think, oh, we give the women their rights, the pro-choice, which they think that's all it is. They think that's literally all they're giving it for. But then you have the climate change, which they think,
it's saving the right to vote, but not the responsibility that goes along with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Drafted.
Mm-hmm. Oh, exactly. Yeah, and it's always some kind of
talk about equality, huh?
Yeah. With the global warming thing, they think they're saving the planet, but really what they're doing is building a bunch of more ways for them to get more money from us via tax, which they can use to launder to do other stuff. Secondly, they're creating this idea that carbon is bad. Like the things we're made of.
Literally, the building blocks of everything that we are made of.
Whether we've been here for 6,000 years, 7,000, 6 million, 600 million, it doesn't matter because we have been doing this for so long. And to really think that cow farts or us breathing is literally going to affect the environment, when if you drive through Texas, or almost every state has it, there's nothing for miles, and for 50 miles, there are places you will see absolutely nothing.
The world did just fine with the buffalo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Imagine there were billions of them.
Yeah. And carbon, and we learn in school, whether or not this is true, carbon dioxide is taken in by trees, and out comes oxygen. So either if there's more carbon dioxide, too much, then there would be too much oxygen. Unless we're killing all the trees,
which we are,
but I mean, not to the point to where we have to worry.
No.
Yeah, I mean, we have enough trees because those industries are very conscientious about not going under.
Well,
so they plant more.
Trees to cut down.
They're not, and that's global warming, abortion, free speech. They actually think that if you have free speech,
you can say anything.
You can say, you can say anything you want.
Well, not really. You can't run into a classic example is you can't run into a movie theater and scream fire.
No. I mean, there is consequences. Absolutely. You can't do that.
Oh, you're right though. Yeah. You physically, if you're willing to deal with the consequences, you can truly do anything you want in America.
But what I'm saying is that they will try to get it to where there's a license. Right now you have to have a license to drive. Some people have to have a license to own a gun, license to own certain things like a pit bull, and insurance. These types of licenses are created because those things are illegal. There's no need to have a license if something is legal. Why would you need a license to free speech unless free speech is illegal? Or a license to drive? Since when is traveling illegal? But they've made us believe this stuff. And this is all these types of things for form of control.
It actually, I think it says in the Constitution, doesn't it? By whatever modern conveyance is available.
Let's say that again.
I think it says in the Constitution, you're allowed to travel by whatever modern conveyance is available.
Yes. I don't know if it's the Constitution or the Bill of Rights.
Bill of Rights, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. But you have the right to travel.
Right. Could even be the federal. Who the hell knows?
Yeah. You have the right to travel, they say unmolested.
We're coming up on 35 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. So we just wanted to get our thing heard about this story that he grew up knowing, this Ed Felt.
Yeah, he's my grandparents'
neighbor, and the importance of investigating your research and then also betting people lots of money when they think they're right. That's what you got to do. Anyways, y'all have a good night.
Thanks for stopping in.